the YNW Melly retrial has now been delayed. However, the judge shared new information on Melly being released on a bond. It begins when it was announced YNW Melly's double retrial has now been postponed once again. During a hearing on Friday, August the 8th, the 4th District Court of Appeals granted a stay in the case, allowing time to consider a motion by the state's attorney's office. Stay means the trial will not begin in September and has now been pushed back into January of 2027. This is very interesting as the judge only a few weeks ago said this in court.
Not disputing that.
So I don't know what else I can do at this point. You've asked me to press pause on all these motions. I'll press pause. I'm not going to move this trial date. This trial is going forward in September. So if these motions are heard next month, or they're heard in March, or they're heard in August, or they're heard contemporaneously during his trial, which again would not be the most ideal way to do things. If that's what ends up happening, that's what ends up happening. But the one thing I can tell you is not going to happen is someone that has been in custody for 2,160 days, his trial is not going to be delayed under any circumstance. So that being said, what else would you like me to do this morning?
Well,
as the judge said that he'll refuse the trial ever being delayed, but then fast forward a month later and it being delayed anyway seems very corrupt. But this happened for 3 reasons which Melly's lawyers can use to their advantage for a bond. At least to understand when it's important to know how and why the prosecutors delayed it, the prosecutors want to bring in new evidence against Melly to make sure he's found guilty in the retrial. One piece of evidence they want to use is this Facebook post to YNW Melly with Young Thug trying to confirm that Melly is a part of the Red Street team just like Young Thug is.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, snake. He's saying he's YSL, and he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Demons has the big B hand signs displayed.
Okay, and see with individuals again, I'm assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
As YNW Melly's even made an effort in court trying to tell his lawyers to just let them use the evidence, he doesn't care, the news wrote. Today's hearing marks the first time. Melly publicly went against his legal team's advisement in open court, where Melly was seen yelling at his lawyers to just let them use the evidence.
Yes, sir.
against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
You objected to it. They're requesting me to determine this automatic stay.
Based upon what our client has instructed us, yes.
Those inside of the courtroom overheard what Melly said. He said, in quote, "I don't care, I'm not in no gang, they can't prove it."
I'm aware, 924-071. Call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership in a gang. There were things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravator, that's the death penalty. Aggravator, that's the enhancement itself, Your Honor. That's charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the further conviction, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilty.
something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
As now the prosecutors will have 2 years to make sure this evidence is usable against Melly, and if they do, he will be done. But what's even worse is that Melly has a second court case. In case you haven't been keeping up with YNW Melly's cases, he's now involved in one more, which has charges of life in prison. The only reason that Melly was not found guilty in his first trial was due to his girlfriend Mariah Hamilton escaping the United States and not testifying. However, she just tried coming back into the country and she was arrested.
Did Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he was 2 friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Vaughn was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walk the bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his 2 friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
She only lasted a few days inside a jail, where she was then able to make a deal with the judge saying that if you agree to testify against Melly, you're free to go. She accepted it instantly, making it the worst news possible for YNW Melly. She confirmed it, writing on Facebook, "Into my village. Thank you to my village. I love you all so much. God's plan, not mine." Why the prosecutors need Mariah is because there is disturbing evidence in Mariah's iCloud account which relates to Melly, forcing her to not testify in trial. This is known as witness tampering. Melly used the jail phone to call her many times, saying to leave the United States. This carries a life sentence in prison regardless if Melly actually did the crime to sack. Chaser and Juvie.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
The witness tampering case would be separate from his existing case of sack. Chaser and Juvie's passing. There's also a world where he is found innocent in that case but found guilty in the witness tampering and still goes to prison for life, as the concerning part is due to him witness tampering with jail phones. He hasn't been allowed to use a phone for over 3 years. It got so bad that his mother, Jamie King, even did an interview exposing the county jail for not allowing Melly to use a phone or look at his own mail.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
This means the evidence is true that Melly was using a jail phone to commit witness tampering. They wouldn't just keep him off of the jail phones if they didn't have the evidence to back it, or else that would start a massive lawsuit against the county jail. Due to this, Jamie King would then reveal she is absolutely heartbroken for her son. She feels helpless because he's not even being treated like a human inside of jail.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
This, however, got a lot of media attention, especially from people in the rap industry, as Charleston White would react, saying that this is what YNW Melly should be living, like he shouldn't just get special treatment because he's a famous rapper.
When you saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
As with Mariah going against YNW Melly, things get even worse from here. The trial had to be delayed because they also now have YW Bortland on their side as well. It started when the judge announced that Melly will be tried with Bortland in the next trial, whenever it is. As the news wrote at the beginning of Wednesday's hearing, Judge Martin Fiend of Borland's attorney said, "So Mr. Haddad, for the time being, Mr. Henry is going to remain set for trial on September with YW Melly. However, this is moved to whenever the next trial is, as this couldn't be worse for YW Melly, and let me explain. The relationship between Bortland and Melly have completely fell through, especially when the news wrote a no communication order has been filed in the YW Melly trial. The order makes Melly and Bortland completely separate, no talking, no lawyer talk, just silence, as the prosecutors will force Bortland to snitch by trying Melly and him together.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. Just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because It's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
If Borland knows that he didn't commit this serious crime, he won't physically be able to sit there and just take life and prison to the chin, making it extremely likely he'll then point the finger against Melly, just like Melly did against Borland. In the first trial, Borland and Melly have not talked to each other since this happened, when on the first day of trial, Melly's lawyer tried pinning this against Borland.
Those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, car riddled with, and when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
Melly's own lawyer revealed Moreland was the one lying to the feds and that he was the one with powder residue on his hands. With also mentioning he was the last one with Juvie and Sackhazer when they passed, he even went as far as to bring in a forensic scientist that covered the passings to go into further detail of Borland having the powder residue.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of powder residue and two component particles, and the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of powder residue and 1 two-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was powder residue present on the hands.
Now, Borland did not like this at all, which is why when Melly's mistrial was declared, a report shared WW Borland tweets a mysterious message on the same day. Melly's mistrial was declared. The tweet reads, "Mind games don't work on people like me," alongside a handshake emoji as if he's accepting a deal. But what's even more concerning is that Borland has every reason to snitch against Melly due to what was found inside of his home.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Borland was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Borland, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Borland allegedly tampered with the witness.
As it would be announced by Bryson Paul, here are the images of alleged notes discovered during the home raid of YW Borland's home last week, as filed into the Broward clerks, where on the first day of trial where Borland was able to see the jury. As he was sitting in the stands, he went home and wrote down a description of what they looked like as right before. Melly's lawyers started throwing incriminating evidence against Borland. It looked like he was getting ready to slide for Melly on these jurors if they found him guilty.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Borland, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on! It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro! Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They're like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
Having Borland on their side will also answer a very important question, which is what is the context of what happened only 3 hours after the crime occurred? For only 3 hours after the crime happened, Melly was filmed dancing in a parking lot with YNW Portland like nothing just happened.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned. Regardless of what happened, you already know.
And also an answer as to why YNW Melly left the rap studio early went into the back left seat of the Jeep. They were driving and sat there waiting for the other three to get inside of the car.
Excuse me, you're able to see? Yes? All right.
As if they can get an answer on that to confirm the court document that reads, "The direction of bullets traveling left to right in the car supports the claim that they originated from the back left seat, where Melly was positioned would make W. Melly look extremely guilty, as you need to remember W. Juvy's mother already confirmed he was there."
Can you state your name? Your full legal name for the jury?
I'm Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the kids in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right-hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
But I want you to comment if you believe Melly is guilty or not of the crime. Give me your theories on what happened and leave a like if you're a fan of YNW Melly.